Here's the story. Johnny the Mad Dragon, who had my mother up by his side. They were 4 fans, certainly obnoxious, but full of dragon's pride.
Here's the story of the great Jesse Godfrey, with Big D Go-Go and Mr. Rob. Never Jesse's grown, so fierce and passionate, and the red face shine true. Till the one day when
Johnny met young Jesse,
and they knew
it was much more than a hunt. That this group would form a fiery podcast. That's how we jump from Mad Dragons up. Mad Dragons up. Mad Dragons up. That's the way we became the Mad Dragons up. Come on, Dragons fans! Fire up!
And welcome to the Mad Dragons Vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions, a family-owned and operated business with more than 100 years of combined experience. Jeff and his team are more than pleased to assist in your Sydney warehouse refurbishment or fit-out project. Based on Commerce Drive in Lake Illawarra, get in touch with the team on 02 4257 1930. Now, I'm getting pretty sick of losing ANZAC Day, Dragons fans. Each year, so much promise undelivered on. It's arguably the biggest game of the year for us, but we just can't seem to stand up to the challenge. Suffering yet another big loss to the Waters, and a lot to dissect tonight. So let's get into what is probably going to be the shortest heroes and villains ever.
they're slugging it out. They're slugging.
What's it called?
It's doing there.
I don't know, technical difficulties.
And villains thought it was piss poor, so I can't even play the video.
Well, we need Donnie back to introduce a bit of sanity into things.
Hang on. Gee. Just gone on with it, has me. I'm having technical difficulties with that.
I think they know it's hero and villains.
Yeah,
We're just like the Dragons team.
Yep. No, we won't worry about the intro this time. So I've gone with here today, gone tomorrow. Hope that is. Another day, another ANZAC clash gone to shit, and another thrashing by the Roosters. Too much defence in the first part of the game. Forwards not aiming up and putting pressure on the Roosters, especially the halves, while our own halves showed once again why they belong in reserve grade, if that, which I think Youngie wants to have a bit of a chat about later. Now, honestly, I wasn't expecting much from the officials, and honestly, I reckon would have been better off with Scoop in charge, but you can't blame the referees when you're making errors and giving away 6 agains like we did, and when your forwards are more accurately described as backwards. So basically, the heroes are the fans who actually stuck around till the end to watch that shit, and the Roosters are villains, well, because they're the Roosters. So, told you it's going to be a short one. So, firstly, let's hear from Coach Flanagan and co-captain Damien Cook, who look to have little answer for that slaughter of a defeat. Hopefully, this one works, Jesse.
Shane, given the occasion, the stage that you're on today, how disappointed are you in what the team put together?
Yeah, really disappointed, especially where we've been the last couple of weeks. We've been the solid football we can play, and we just the first half just cooked us. We had 29% of possession at half time, and you hope that swings, and you hope that you've got some energy left to make it swing. But credit to them that they applied pressure and we only had 29% of possession, and I could just tell at half time we were just looking for answers when we were a bit out on our feet. So and some of the things that we've been so good at is our tackle control and so on were just off today. So hopefully it's just one of those things that it's hard to maintain form, and we just didn't get it right today, especially in the first half.
Did they come with more energy than you to start that game?
Yeah, they ran harder, and got field position and put up better kicks than us at the end. We're kicking from inside our 40, and I think we scored a try with only 3% of possession. But as I said, half time with only 27% or 29% of possession just kills.
Are there better decisions that you could have made to swing that possession?
Yes, definitely. Yes, there was a couple of errors on tackle 1, errors with the football not getting the kicks. So once again, that's self-inflicted. A lot of it. Some of it's well done to the Roosters, but some of it's definitely us.
There's a sin bin. You think maybe that's a moment that you can manage better, and in the other, they go down the other end and score.
Yep, without a doubt. We needed to. We throw a ball to the ground there. Our skill has been good, and our execution on our edges has been good. But today, like on that occasion, the ball goes to ground, and then they go up the other end, and I think they kicked a penalty goal, scored a try, kicked a penalty goal, and we didn't have the ball while they were down to 12 men, so they handled it better than we did.
Just on that period, Cook, you had floating. I think you made that line break to start the second half. Sander goes to the bin. It looks like you have a bit of momentum, and then as Flano says, they then score the next 8 points and sort of put that lead out.
Yeah, it probably was a moment in the game that we could have handled a lot better, and they did it really well. They controlled the game, and like Flano said, there's been areas of our game that have been really good around ruck control, markers and stuff, and we just weren't at our best today. And simple game, we made it hard for ourselves. They ran harder and they tackled harder on a big occasion.
Well, that didn't seem encouraging, did it?
Well, I mean, it pretty much shows how much of a clue they seem to have, because, I mean, they sound like geniuses after the fact. It's like, well, you got to do this stuff week in, week out. So what are you doing to address it?
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's keep going. So now let's just introduce the rest of the panel. So you've already heard from myself. The co-pilot, Jesse. We've also got Rage and Rob Saguna. We've got Dazzy Young coming on for a bit of a chat. Nice to see you again, Daz. And God Almighty, Coco showed up.
Hey, I'm here. Relax.
He's lost the
I don't know
power.
what I'm on. So,
Just frozen.
I'm here.
You've done it, Rob. You haven't paid your electric bill.
I'm on my phone.
We can't see you.
I'm here. No, well, I'm in my room, so this is what you get.
Yeah.
You look good, Coco. There's a picture of you with a wine glass in the air.
Yep.
You
That's
look
what I
good.
need.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do need that. So, yeah. It's just because I'm in my room and I'm watching the game. So, because I need to rehash what happened. Okay? Got to rehash this dreadful game.
Do you really want to rehash what happened?
There you are, Coco.
Bro, I was there. I watched it live.
Oh,
So
really?
why not? Why not?
Yeah.
We got to learn. They got to learn. I hope they watch it again. We got to learn from our mistakes. It's a bit piss poor.
I just felt like we're out-muscled. But their forward
were.
pack just... And that new winger for the Roosters on the right hand side, what's his name? I can't even pronounce his name. He's a gun. Oh, wow. What a player.
Yeah.
I think he's cemented that spot.
Yeah,
Dominic Young might have trouble getting back in.
Newcastle.
But look across the park. You got props who are running it up and they're plotting it up. Gula and Plummer and Blake Laurie as well too. I mean, look at the opposition props, even in other teams as well too. It was talking about all this stuff about forwards that we go forward. Well, you need that. You need we've got big bobbers. We got Clemmer's a big bobber, but we
need more aggression.
Yeah, but they were just ineffective. The Roosters just made meters at will, straight up the middle when they wanted to.
It was a beast. Bring on Loco. Just bring him in. Flano, bring him in. Give him a go off the bench.
I reckon he's got to get a start this week.
Yeah, give him a game. That's what we've got to do. If you want to move Cook to 13 and bring Little in the hook up. Make some bold moves. Bring LKT into the halves. Because we're going to have the same thing as we had last year. We might get close to the 8. We might even make the 8, or we mightn't. But is that really what we want? We've got to do what we're going to do for the future. What's best for the future to make us be competitive in the finals, not just make it or be outside it. So something's got to give because we're so inconsistent.
Would be good.
Yeah, we're just still inconsistent again. It haunts us. It really haunts us.
Well, we're consistent, but in all the wrong areas. Anyway,
well, Sandon Smith was just outstanding.
Oh, mate, very good, very good. And he spent 10 minutes in the bin too. So
yeah, so let's get into the Mad Dragons Player of the Year voting. Always difficult after a performance like that. With Sione Finau's try, seemingly enough to pull 9 votes from the few who actually bothered to do it. Didn't get many takers this week. Valentine Holmes was just behind him with 8, and Damien Cook picked up 5. So, Jesse, you were one of the 3 that gave Finau the maximum votes. Aside from scoring that runaway try, what did he do to get 3 votes from you?
Well, yeah, as you said, it was difficult to do a 3-2-1 with the pretty shambles performance it was. Yeah, well, the standout was the obviously the try that he scored that against the runner play, that try, but he did try his heart out. He made the most meters of any Dragons player on the day, 189. He was heavily targeted in what was just his 4th game in the top grade, and he's been called for many weeks to come in for. Well, he was looking to start the year. He was supposed to be picked. A lot of fans had him picked. Christian Torpolotti went down a couple of weeks ago, but he went and while he was targeted simply by the Roosters, handled the occasion, and yeah, I'm looking forward to when he gets on. He'll get an extended stint now in the top grade with Wazoo out and also Finau out for an extended period. So I'm looking to see how Finau develops and goes as he gets more opportunities in the top grade.
Well, I think with Tuipulotu and Finau out for a while, I think he's pretty much got to get picked by default. Okay, so let's go on to some moments in the match. You're on the Mad Dragons Vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. So the Roosters got an early try in just the 3rd minute of the game through 5'8", Sandon Smith strolling over for the simplest of tries. Now, Coco, were you worried how easy the Roosters crossed for that opening try?
Yes, I was worried if it was going to be like this the whole game. I was very worried. But we were lucky enough to have the young gun with his speed score next. But really, it was, I felt, being there and watching the game, the Roosters had the better gameplay and better positions. We weren't there. We were either not there, which was really very disappointing. But yeah, it was just that, and that Sandon Smith, he'll go somewhere. I think, I know we're talking about the Dragons, but the Roosters, I'll give credit. He should be in Origin or whatever, Over to you, Captain Hasman.
Well, vice captain anyway. All right.
Well,
so
you're captain today. You've been upgraded. Okay.
Right. Everyone be quiet. Captain's orders. Now, 3 minutes later, the Roosters were setting up another attacking raid, but a great tackle from Val Holmes on Hugo Savala forced a mistake, which Sione Finau picked up and raced 80 minutes to score his first NRL try. Now, Dazza, did you expect a tight game at this point?
I think I was worried the whole match, to be honest. We just looked gassed and fatigued. I think 20 minutes in, you could see Roosters were getting the upper hand, despite what the score might have looked like. But, yeah, they just looked like they were in control to me for most of the match. I'm just being honest.
Well, you don't win by that many if you're not in control. So the Roosters were running us ragged, which seemingly started to fatigue and tire the Dragons' defence, especially targeting the inexperienced Sione Finau, with Mark Nawaqanitawasi scoring in the corner.
I can't pronounce it either.
It's not a bad attempt, Tasman.
We need BT. Is he going to pronounce those bloody names properly? Now, Lachlan Ilias made a strong tackle on Angus Crichton, which Crichton actually led with his elbow and forearm into the head of Lachlan Ilias. Now, I'll go to you for this one, Rob. Was Crichton lucky to stay on the field? He knew exactly what
I
he was
don't
doing.
remember the tackle exactly, to be honest with you, Hasman, I'm going to be honest. But after seeing this weekend with all the games, how silly some of the head highs were, to be honest with you, how less the head high was, how medium it was, how bad it was. I mean, Latrell only got a week for his, and then there was other ones who slipped up. I mean, to be honest with you, if that's the go, in from what you're saying, well, then maybe you should have obviously got 10 in the bin. So
He knew exactly what he was doing, and from what we've seen this weekend, I cannot believe he didn't go.
Yeah. So to answer your question, obviously you know more than what I did, and obviously it sounds like you deserve to get 10 in the bin. But going back to what Daz said, I don't think it matters what happened with that sort of thing, 10 in the bin or whatever. We were just useless. We didn't turn up. The attitude was wrong. And I think you guys said previously that this is a number of times now on the Anzac Day match where we haven't turned up. So, it's terribly disappointing, Hasman, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you can't get up for Anzac Day, if you can't get a team up for Anzac Day, then you're not much job as a coach, as far as I'm concerned.
Especially after you job last year as well too. So come on, we should have, like you said, been up for it. We should have won a revenge. Is that right? Revenge for last year.
100%. That would have been motivation enough.
Wasn't it 60 points last year, Jess?
60, yeah.
Yeah, so we've improved by 18?
14 points.
Yeah.
14 points. So
looking at the positive.
I mean, it's still crap anyway. Anyway, so Jesse, I'll give you this one. So Gutho keeps persevering with these bloody short dropouts, which just were not coming off. The Roosters just seem to be camped on their line, making us do a lot of defensive work. Now, why the hell do we keep trying these short dropouts if they're not working?
Because everyone else does it. That's how you get the ball back.
I don't know why we do it, because we did it a lot of last year. Ben Hunt did it with us last year as well. I don't know why. Why kick it 10 metres and then the Roosters get the ball right on our try line? This is not just for this game, but any game. I don't know why. Why don't just kick it downfield, make the opposition team run it back, instead of giving making us defend our own goal line all the time? And the Roosters scored 2 or 3 tries off of it. So why give them the ball that close? Kick it 50, 60 metres downfield?
The only now should have been big enough to take them.
Yeah, and watch some of the top halves of the game. Watch some of the top halves. Adam Reynolds, key. He watches, he looks, he goes side, and then he looks to see, and then he'll go long. You know what I mean? I saw what you're saying, Jesse. Yeah. We should play smarter football because we were obviously the possession was way down. So this short dropout, if you don't pinpoint it and make it perfect, then you're stuffed. And they got tall timber, man. They got that draft guy in the wing. What's his name? For the Roosters, 6'6". And the other guy in the other wing. So I mean,
yeah,
they're so good under the high ball. You know, like it's just
it's only small, and the Sloan's. Well, Sloan was found wanting a little bit out on the wing. He got tested.
Yeah, it's just dumb. I agree with Hasman completely. I don't know what's wrong with us with tactics, but we've got to improve in that area. It's just shit. And the kicking is
a problem.
The bombs are too deep. Why make the bombs so deep? Why not make the bombs higher so we can at least get our players to contest the ball? I mean, I hate Hunt for wanting to lead, but at least Hunt's bombs would go up and Lomax would have a chance to try and catch them.
Yeah,
Ilias doesn't have any variety.
No, but this is too deep.
Zero variation.
Yeah, no chips, no crossfield kicks. Look at Reynolds kick in the game he played crossfield to the winger and he scored a try. I don't reckon our halves have the capability of doing that.
I think they scored about 3 tries off kicks like that, didn't they, the Broncos?
In pouring rain, pissing
Yep.
down,
Yep.
man.
It was at least,
Like,
2 if not 3.
Reynolds is the player you want in the rain. 'Cause
We
he
had
can
the
do
pace for it out wide too. That would have been the play.
Well, I had to come up with some tactic, but it was just deep, just kick it as far as you can, straight to the bloody fullback or the winger.
The other thing is Gutherson. Every time he makes a mistake, it's a challenge that he loses. Can he put them away because they're not working? And they're all in the first 20 minutes of the game, so you haven't got it for later in the game. Had that been a really close game, we might have needed that. In the last 20, he does it in the first 20.
He keeps blowing our captain's challenges. I mean, Hasman, you said it on your heroes and villains last week. He keeps blowing them way too early in the game, and they weren't. It wasn't a challengeable one that he could have got won. I don't think.
I don't think any of them have been a 50-50 proposition. They've all been just absolute bloody errors, and he's trying to see if maybe he can get away with something.
Well, it's like he gets too excited and like, I'm going to press the button, like I win a challenge.
I don't know why he doesn't say, Guffo, no.
Yeah.
Where the hell's Damien Cook when all this is going on? He's a bloody co-captain. What's he doing?
As Nate Battershaw says, that's right.
I think he goes into his shell a bit, Cookie, unfortunately. But, let's Gutho have the say.
I mean, even if Cook doesn't sort of make the decision himself, they should be having a bloody chat to each other.
Exactly.
I think there was one that I saw, I saw there was one that he told him, no, don't. Cookie actually could see, you know what I mean? And had to calm Gutho's excitement down, So, yeah, I think he just gets way overexcited and thinks he's right, 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does a little bit. All right. Now, Rob, seeing as you love talking, I'll give you this one. So, Ashton Collier medalist Sandon Smith scored a try in the shadows of halftime to make it 20 points to 6. Do you reckon it was curtains at that point?
Well, look, mate, the way we were going, even the start to the game, I was seeing alarm bells like Das. All honesty, I thought it was all over Red Rover. Even when them, down a man 10 minutes as well too. I just never saw us really coming back, to be honest with you. I mean, you know how you can tell, like when the team comes out, and even Manly,
you could feel it, couldn't you? It just felt like we were going to lose, even 20 minutes in.
It's just inconsistency. I don't know what it is with our side. I mean, the game we played Manly played woeful in the first half.
Look at them
we
last
still
night.
won, but we were lucky to still win as well too. So. But then in other games, like against South and against the Bulldogs, we had chances to win as well too. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. But mate, to answer your question, I thought we were gone. I really did. I thought we were gone. We don't have, and Darren's going to answer this question later. We don't have the halves that have the capability to make something from nothing, to change a game for us, to get us back into a game or close a game out. We just don't have it. They don't have it.
Yeah, Ilias and Flanagan are not those types of players. They just don't have it. Well, they haven't showed us that they've got it in them anyway.
No. So, and that's the problem, like even if we're down by 12 or whatever, or etc. But I don't know, they just don't have it. They really don't.
I just feel like they don't belong together. I don't know whether it's just me.
They don't complement each other.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're similar. It's almost like they're similar players, and
they need a dominant. They need a dominant.
Yeah, you need a dominant half. Yeah,
100%.
One's got to be a game manager, and the other one's got to be a running half.
Yeah,
and they're the same player.
Neither of them are like that.
No, and one looks like the other one. They struggle to, you know what I mean, to be dominant, to make that dominant move or whatever. It's almost like they're playing on eggshells or whatever, and they can't, you know what I mean? And then I don't know if they've got the capability, to be honest with you. I mean, as you said, tactics, whatever, there's no chip over the top. There was no cross-field kick. There was no whatever. So there was nothing different to just kicking it down the field. So I thought we were getting a strip show there from young Jesse for a second there.
I was wondering what the hell was going on. It was wild boys afloat for a minute.
Jesse. So, Jesse, the Roosters had about Round about 70% possession in the first half. Really gave our defence a bit of a going over. Do you think there was a way back if we got our fair share of the ball?
I don't think he's there.
I think he's left the building.
He's just a view of his seat.
There he is.
There he is.
You
Might
missed
want to
the
run that question again.
Jesse,
Welcome back.
Right, now, Jesse.
Yep.
Take two. So, Jesse, Roosters had about 70% possession in the first half. Do you think, given the amount of defence that we got through, was there a way back if we got our fair share of the ball?
We had to do a lot. We had to change a lot of what we were doing because, I mean, at times we did have the ball, we were making mistakes on tackle one, and you just can't do that. As Flano said, there was chances out there we could have scored. We just couldn't hang on to the ball. When you're trying to get back in a game, first thing to do is hang on to the ball, and we just couldn't do that, which was giving the Roosters possession again, and that's why they had the majority of it. It continued into the second half as well, and we just simply weren't good enough, and we're not a team that likes playing catch-up football. If a team gets to a 14 or more lead point against us, 14 points or more, we just don't have the ability to catch up and come from behind to do it. Especially like a team like the Roosters, they are a team that something we've been speaking about for a couple of weeks. They have that killer instinct, something we don't have, and when they've got a side down on the ground, they will just put that killer blow in you and put that nail in the coffin. That's what they did to us.
Yeah, here's another reason we probably did lose the game. So, Chloe, I'll give you this one. So, Sandon Smith got sin binned 4 minutes in the second half, and yet we only get one try out of that. Now, that is simply not good enough, considering the time of the game where we could have scored some vital points. Now, was Flano right? Did we not have enough ball in the 10 minutes to apply the blowtorch?
No, because you know what? I was there and I could see Sloan numerous times was screaming for the ball, and they went the other way. He's like, give me the ball. There was a gap numerous times. And the player, whoever had the ball, did not listen to him, and he was screaming. It could have been him and Finau or whoever that could have scored. But no, they went right instead of left because there was actually a gap. That annoyed the shit out of me. Sorry, I know it's only 7 o'clock, but that annoyed me because I could hear him go, give me the ball, and they did not listen to him. So yes, they gave up and they didn't give enough in that instance. That's what I think.
The problem is the amount of defence that we'd had to do. I don't think we had that much to really give.
Yeah, our defence has improved. However, there was just little gaps that we.
The problem is there's too much of it. We're doing way too much.
They did too much defending.
And I think that's
why
what
they were
also,
gassed.
Yeah, they were, and that's what I said. That's what I mean. The Roosters had their positions. They were right into it. They gave that all, and that's why we were gassed as well. It was three things. It was the ball play was just average. We had the Roosters were, their gameplay was, and the way they had quick balls, some of it worked, and they were trying to give it to Tedesco as well because it was his 100th game as well. So they wanted Tedesco to score as well, and they had more. Their power play was better. That's all I could say. Thank you.
What I'd add to that has been we don't have an X factor player. We don't have a player like in the past, like a Chock Mundine or a Trent Barrett. Or a player like that.
He's just not getting the bloody ball enough.
We can make something from nothing, you know what I mean? No, we rely on Gutho as the third.
He had a shocker. That was the worst game I've ever seen him play.
We rely on him for try assists, you know what I mean? And we rely on Hunt for X amount of years to make the play. We don't have that X factor.
Having said that, I thought Val Holmes was really good though.
Yeah, of course.
He looked dangerous at times. Like he had I'm surprised he didn't get higher in the points.
But you know what I mean, Daz? What I'm saying is that one player, when you're down the scoreboard, or you've been tackling so much that can change the momentum of the game. with
That
one
used to
player.
be Damien Cook. Remember, Damien Cook did that, and Jacob Little. But
He made
also,
it great,
look at
yeah.
yeah, like back in the day, Michael Wayman. The who else was there? Ben Craig, the Dean Youngs. You know, we had those
Soured.
Soward. That's
Soward.
right. Yeah, Soward used to know how to do little banana kicks, the bombs. You know, he would know
There
what
you
to
go,
do.
Coco. You just answered the question. There's creativity. There's an X
Yeah,
factor. There's something different.
exactly. And we
Ours
don't.
is
We
just
just,
2-1.
the game management was poor.
Yeah,
Well, it's just 2-1 way. You know what I mean?
I know.
Where is
It's
that
just-
player? Where are we going to get
Yeah.
that player that can do that?
I agree with Coco though. When those halves, when you needed to go left, they went right.
Yeah,
When they needed to go right, they went left. It's just
It's piss
Yeah.
ball.
it is. It's very. And then, also, I don't know. No one probably saw in the grandstand, but the Roosters and the Dragons. There was a Dragons army and the Roosters, and every time Gutho did something wrong, they would do the Gutherino. So it was a bit of a piss take with
Piss take.
Gutherino. Yep, it was. If I could have had popcorn, and it would be guns blazing. It would, and that's why I think Gutherino's little dance has caused a bit of iffiness with everyone.
He's not doing it for us.
I know, but that's what it made. It's like you should have seen the Roosters doing it to us. The Rooster fans, like beside me, I was like, just, they were taking the piss out of him.
Yeah.
Well, here's an
So it
article
was
that
a
just
case
come
of
through.
And that's my gossip for today, guys. Sorry. Go
I've got
forward.
some breaking news, Hasman. I don't know if you want to
Oh.
hear it.
Oh, breaking news. What is it?
Yeah, no, you
Come
No,
through
you
this afternoon.
got a scoop for us?
So Flano is surely running out of patience with struggling halfback Lachlan Ilias. Even Ilias's manager, Brace Van Aster, recently conceded on NRL 360 that the halfback needed to lift to save his spot in the team. Expect a change for the game against the West Tigers in Brisbane next weekend. Flanagan's replacement options are Lycan King Togia or Jonah Glover, two highly regarded New South Wales Cup halves.
Well, what about Flanagan, though?
Gotta
What
go,
about, it's
Glover,
not
I'd
just
say.
bloody Ilias, it's bloody both of them. Like, this
Yep.
is what shits me. Because his name's Flanagan, he doesn't get to go to New South Wales Cup. Sorry, but you're the same. Fuck off and go to New South Wales Cup and learn
From his
as
old
well,
man.
both of you.
If they're going to do it,
Drop
they
his
should
son,
do
Coco.
both of them.
He's
Drop
not going to
both
drop
of
his son.
Yeah. Yeah, do
But
both
Glover
of them.
and LKT have played together, so
Yeah.
I heard
What?
Jesse from the old boys, right? Old first graders, right? And gossip that Flanagan will go to halfback and LKT will go to 5'8". That's what I've heard. So
That-
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see on
that's
Tuesday.
That's sort of my suspicion. If there is,
That's what I believe is going to happen. If he's going to make a change like that. I mean, Donnie Bell's right. 9 rounds. We're going to the 9th round, and really, and Darren, you're going to answer this question later, right? But the halves are shit. I'm sorry with the shit.
Well, Ilias is still young though. Like he's only 20 years old and barely played any football. So a stint reserve grade, not to bag him too much, but a stint reserve grade would do him really good.
But yeah, he's just not good enough.
Yeah, he might come good later on in his career, but at the moment he's just.
Well, Atkinson's coming next year as well too, isn't he? So
that's right.
Yeah.
He's been halfback at two big Sydney clubs and he hasn't delivered at either club. I mean, he's only
And
been
Flanagan's
here,
the same
2 months
too.
here, but
Flanagan, his last football was reserve grade for the Dogs as a hooker. So he was brought by his father as a 14. His father made the press statement as a 14 and backup hooker, not as a 6.
Yeah. Would Flanagan make the squad on any other NRL team?
No.
I doubt he plays in any
he'd be
other
a depth option at
house.
best.
Be lucky to
He'd
make
be
the
a depth
squad.
option. Anyway, keep it going, Asman.
Controversy has been.
You blokes to shut up.
No, but everybody loves it. They love the banter. You know what I mean?
All right, let's get back
Putting
into
his
it.
son before the team. Yes, he is.
Right, that's up.
Yes.
Shut up.
Hey, has mate. There'll be no good lunch for you down in the Crown Casino now.
No?
In Melbourne, you go to Melbourne with Dazzler, he'll wine and dine you.
Might take him up on that. So it was a case of first try in the second half being very crucial, and Roosters forward, Blake Steep, pulled our defence to score a runaway try and make it 26-6. 3 minutes later, Cole Flanagan scored out wide to give us a slim chance at 28-12. Now, Desert, seeing as you like talking so much, I'll give you this one. If we settled down and stayed patient, could we have clawed this game back?
Not in my opinion. I thought it was gone earlier. I just felt like the Roosters were in control. Even when we put a couple of tries on them, they went up a gear when it mattered. So, it's just a hard game to watch. Very hard game to watch for me.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough one. Anzac Day just seems to be a tough game for us. So,
yep.
Recently, which sort of leads into the next one, which Coco, I'll throw this one to you, I think. So James Tedesco seems to have a magnificent strike rate against the Dragons, scoring every time he plays against us. The last 3 games, the Roosters have annihilated us 148-48. Do they have the wood on us?
Oh, maybe, but we used to have the hoodoo with Canberra, so maybe you know how that one team has the hoodoo. Maybe they are our hoodoo for Anzac Day, and we have to try and get through it and beat them. But last year and this year, they've absolutely smashed us. So I think they do at the moment have Anzac Day over us, and we need to improve and get better so we can prove that they don't have it over us.
Yeah,
it's getting to the point where it's a hoodoo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we don't lose the next 8 or 9 bloody games against them because, as I said, I'm getting sick of losing to them on Anzac Day. It's costing me a fortune in schooners. I've got a regular bet on with a mate of mine. There's four schooners or a 6-pack for the game. So yeah, he's had a lot of beers at my expense.
A lesson in life from over 55s now these days. You ask for a start, mate. You want a 30 points head start. That's what you want.
Oh, he won't give me starts. He doesn't do starts.
No, get him on the piss first. He's had a few. Get him to sign it, and then that's it.
His other idea. Tell me what you think about this one, guys, just to get off track a little bit because we love doing that. So his other idea was instead of the winner being the score, it was he was thinking along the lines of the try differential. So if they beat us by 2 tries, I only got to give him 2 beers. If we beat them by 7 tries, he's got to buy me 7 beers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Dangerous.
I decided to err on the side of caution on that one. I'm glad I did. Anyway, so that was as close as we got. Yet another disappointing Anzac Day performance. Jesse, did the Dragons get stage fright? What do we take out of this game heading into Magic Round?
I don't know if there is something you can take out of it. Was we're very disappointed. We've got to improve a hell of a lot to beat the Tigers. I don't know if you saw that game today, the Tigers and Sharks game. That was a very high quality game, probably the game of the season I've seen. Went to Golden Point. I was only decided with a minute to go in Golden Point. We're going to have to improve a hell of a lot if we're going to beat the Tigers at Magic Round. It's going to be another big game. All teams will be up there next weekend. So yeah, I hope the stage fright hasn't crept into them because the big games we've had in the last couple of years, we've just been smashed every game. So we've got to be ready for it, and I hope they do make the trip up there tomorrow and really acclimatise and really prepare because it's a game they must. I think they've got to really win this and to get their season sort of back on track and just to see that that game on Anzac Day was just an aberration. But it's going to have to be a huge improvement.
Yeah, improvement doesn't seem to be in Flanagan's repertoire at this point. So we're getting into some lower grades action. You're on the Mad Dragons Vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. Jesse, you're the lower grades man. What can you tell us?
Okay, so we've had the New South Wales Cup. They are back in the winner's circle. They had a 6-6 win over a thrashing over the Manly Seagulls at home at Collies yesterday, with Rugby Sevens convert Nathan Lawson. He was back on the wing in that game. Had a hat-trick of tries. Cody Ramsey made 164 metres at fullback, while Larkin Kiktoya continues to impress, having 3 try assists as he continues to push for recall to the top grade. The Dragons currently sit in 4th place on the ladder with a trip to Lidcombe Oval next Sunday to take on the West Magpies. Jersey Flegg were also at Collies yesterday. They also had a win over Manly. Not as big, though, as the New South Wales Cup side. They had a narrow 20-14 victory with Senator Charles Heitke, the hero, with a hat-trick. And they'll also head to Lidcombe Oval next Sunday to take on the West Magpies. In the junior reps, we only had the one team left in the junior representative season, and it is season over, unfortunately, for the Illawarra Sealers. Tarsha Cup side going down 30 points to 14 in the prelim final at Dudley Chesham Sports Ground yesterday at the Oaks. They lost that in the preliminary final. The Roosters coached by former Dragons NRLW star Keely Davis, actually.
Jesse, I read 3 times in New South Wales Cup that LKT actually passed the ball to a player in the gap, and that player dropped the ball or passed in a motion. He could have had 3 more try assists. Our Dragons player dropped the ball in a clear, position to score a try or go on to score a try. You know what I mean? So that's pretty awesome stuff from LKT. He could have had 6 try assists from what I read.
Yeah.
Right, so news and rumours. So the Perth Bears have upped their money, and it looks like they will join the NRL competition ahead of the 2027 season. Now, Dazza, is there enough talent going around, and is there enough notice to build a side? You've got players like Lockie Galvin, the 2 Trebojeviches who are actually there on talent and not for their lane, because Ben's absolute rubbish. Tyron Wishart, Jerome Hughes, and Payne Haas, they're all available from the 1st of November. Is it great to see the team in Perth?
Jerome Hughes?
Oh, look, I'm really happy we're going to have a Perth team again. I'll be interested to see if the Perth Bears work. Definitely needed a team in Perth regardless. But, yeah, it's not a lot of time to build a team, is it? Like, when are they due to come back? For
27.
what year? 27. Jeez.
Yeah, so it's not.
You're going to have to
2
be a
years.
good player manager. You got to have good juniors.
They got to start now.
Going to be like, forget starting at the end. Yeah, they need to start right now, trying to pluck players from wherever you can. Queensland Cup. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of.
Here's one for you. Big piece highlighted.
Well, they are going to have a second. I'd say a second team supporter, number 1 supporter, in Donny Bell. Correct. It's actually not Donny Bell; it's Donald Bell as well, too, to be precise, on the birth certificate.
Good to have him back, though.
Yeah,
at some level.
WA, Donny says, right? It sells out. In what's the stadium there, Jess?
60,000, but they're not going to play it. I heard they're not going to play at Optus Stadium. They're going to play at HBF Park, I think that's called, the smaller ground.
The A-League, the soccer. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Perth will succeed this time. I mean, I'm sure, Jess, I know you're younger, but Daz and Hasman, you remember the old Perth team? I think Mark Guy was in that team back in the day as captain. Obviously it failed, but I'm sure it'll succeed this time.
Well, how does that actually work? Who pays for the teams to go over there? Like, it's an expensive exercise, isn't it?
They have to.
I don't know.
Last time round,
the association with the NRL.
The WA government has to fork out some money to get them the funding.
50 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, they must have upped it to get the approval from Peter Volandis to get this the bid up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funding from them, yeah, 100%. But Lenny's is a smart business operator, so he'd get the most out of the situation for sure.
Yeah. Well, it is truly a national sport if they come in, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's exciting, mate. I think it's good for rugby league. Perth trip.
Yeah, just thinking that.
We might have a online commentator with Donnie Bell. He could be the second commentator commentating there with Andrew Johns and Gus Gould or whatever.
If he starts an In the Cave podcast, we'll know what's up.
Okay, so Rob, Finau Latu has reportedly rejected the Dragons and Knights offers to sign a 3-year deal with the Bulldogs as of next season. Latu is one of the hottest young prospects in the NRL. Flano was not impressed with how Latu's management handled the negotiations, and Flano was eager to keep him. What's your take on this?
Such BS from Flano. Donnie Bell, our captain, has been, was 100% correct. We should have locked him in from a long time ago. Even last season, or even in the start of this season, we knew how good this young man is. And even what he's shown in New South Wales Cup this season. But we've known, you know what I mean? And Jesse, you've seen especially, you watched the lower grade. I'm sorry. I'm a big supporter of you, Flano. Have been, and even through the yellow mercury and all that. But you stuffed up, mate. You stuffed up. Don't make excuses now for player manager and all that. This young guy's got to 5 weeks, whatever it is, where he can now negotiate or whatever. I don't blame him if he wants to go and get some more money or whatever it is. But we could have locked him in before. He's obviously very talented. And he's better than...
You can see he's going to be a star. Look at the physique on him.
Yeah, I mean, mate, I watched him in Loco, and they're magnificent. I've sat there and watched the reserve grade match at Cogger, and if you want to pick 2 bright stars for the future for the Dragons, those 2 boys straight away.
He's got eyes about him, hasn't he, Rob? What we need.
100%. And Loco as well, too. And we've signed Loco. We've got Loco, right? But we should have signed Latu as well, too. And it's disappointing. I don't like Flano coming out and making excuses and bullshitting and all that. He could have easily persuaded him from a long time ago. So don't come out and excuse the French fucking bullshit, Flano. Don't make excuses. You stuffed up.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, Jesse.
Yep.
Channel 9 have dropped the scheduled Tigers-Dragons Magic Round coverage, which was due to begin at 7:45 next Saturday night, instead opting to take the 3 p.m. Rabbitohs versus Knights clash on Saturday afternoon due to the election coverage. Now, is this inconvenient, especially for people who can only watch free-to-air?
Oh, 100%. They would have had this planned in for weeks. I mean, the draw comes out November, December. People plan that. Oh, I can watch the game on Channel 9. It's Saturday night. What? They don't normally show games on a Saturday night. Oh, but no, because the government's putting on an election. Channel 9, the hierarchy at Channel 9 have decided, we can't have the football on. We can only put it on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it doesn't affect the election coverage, because they'll be covering all things election on Saturday night. I mean, what's wrong with having it on one of their other channels like Gem or Go? They could have had it on one of those channels, not completely. I think that would have been a better game than the Rabbitohs and Knights game. That's going to be a sleep on that one, I think.
Yeah. Now, Dazza, I think you wanted to speak on this, so I think it was you. So get your guns out and start firing. So Noel Flanagan and Lachlan Ilias have been under pressure all season. Are they really the halves to take us to finals footy in 2025? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. Based on what I've seen. And I think we sort of touched on it earlier. They just seem like they're doing a similar role. They're both trying to be the game manager. It feels like neither one of them wants to take the line on. It just doesn't seem like a lot of direction happening with either of them. So I kind of feel like we need a change. Maybe Ilias needs some time in reserve grade. Maybe they both do. What about Gutho at halfback though?
He's not an organizer.
You don't think so?
What, and put Sloan to
Him
Sloan
at
to-
half and LKT at 5'8".
Sloan to fullback, you reckon?
Well, yeah.
See, the problem is at the moment we don't have enough wingers to bloody cover him.
No.
Lawson's
Lawson's not ready. Lawson's
Wait,
not ready.
Skinner, he's going really well.
Corey Allen. Corey Allen.
Corey Allen's playing well. He played on the wing. He played centre.
Some of the defensive reads that I've seen in New South Wales Cup are actually worse than Sully. If that's
Well, you
even
said, Rob,
possible.
you're worried about Sully's defence always running in out of the line, Rob.
Yeah,
Sully.
well, they do the exact same thing. And, you know, it's just look, coming up out of the line can be a good thing as long as everyone else is doing it. But if you're the only bastard doing it, all of a sudden,
there's a try time.
But that's all part of the up and in defence. That's the style of play.
Yeah.
I'll add to it. It was a massive mistake, mate. You go back to Flano. He knew at the time that there was going to be issues with Amon, and Amon obviously got sacked by the Dragons. He pushed Bud Sullivan out and didn't want Bud. Didn't think he was good.
Sullivan.
And he knew Amon.
He knew Amon was gone. So that's
gone, yeah. So we were already light on in stock as well too.
Then the Volkman one fell through.
He was banking on, and I'm sorry to say, I'm a massive supporter of Flano, right? I supported hard to get him as coach, right? Because I just thought Hook was like, remember Coco? I said that he was Hook's best job would be running a funeral as the guy at a funeral. You know what I mean?
Like,
player
I
managers
know that,
are still
but then
trying to
with
fix
these
that
guys,
mess.
yeah, but like we're still not producing the goods. We're still
No, that's what I'm
losing
saying.
games.
So what I'm saying is,
yeah,
I want to turn around and say now I made a mistake. I went hard on Hunt because I don't like a guy not wanting to play for our club.
I know. There's I hate Ben Hunt club. Okay, Rob, we all love you.
No, hear me out. I went berserk on it all and all that, right?
Yeah, I know.
But quality's quality at the end of the day, and we don't have it. So we got two guys who are really reserve grade halves at their best at the moment, trying to run a team, a first grade team. Who Daz, I think, am I correct in saying they probably wouldn't make any other NRL team at all?
Yeah, they'd struggle to get picked anywhere else.
Halfback. And Flano Jr. is a bloody hooker, backup hooker, failed halfback at two other clubs in the Roosters and Cronulla. He's not a 5'8". You know what I mean? So I think there's nepotism from his dad to, well, Hunt was there, so he's a dominant half. So while Hunt's there, Flano can fill a hole. And supposedly went for Tom Dearden, who was, at the time, made a big offer or whatever, but he stayed at North Queensland.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I would have liked to have had him.
Until we get a real top half game manager half, we're not going to make the top four. We're not going to make another grand final.
We need big forwards too.
Jamie Soward, you can talk about top halves. Ben Hunt would agree as well too. Yeah. I don't think it was a real game manager. He was more an individual, but obviously a quality player with try assists and everything.
We should go hard for Humphreys from South.
Yeah,
that's what I'd be going after.
We don't have a top half going. Big T, 100%. Jerome Hughes. I'd be giving him Big T. Your waterfront houses. You can hear me. At least one of them, Big T, on the Illawarra.
Yeah, the marina down in Shell Harbour Way is good.
Donnie's in Japan, guys.
Yeah,
that's why he's not here.
Yeah. So to answer your question, he's
having family time.
As I said last week, he's on a well-earned holiday in Japan with his family, and he will be back next week.
All right, everyone. See, Johnny, you're missed. Johnny. Say, Captain, you're missed.
He's always.
Oh, he already knows that. I've already told him.
You're begging him to come back, Hasman.
Has been quit as vice president of the.
It's too hard.
He asked me once, actually. He asked me once, Hasman. He said to me, "Do you think my pre-game videos, when I fire up the Dragons and I say it's too loud?" And I said, "No, Donnie. You only broke the Channel 9 video sound recording that you did. Remember?"
I heard him from the bottom of the hill on Wollongong when he came once. That's how. He's all the way up the top. And
I've never.
He's right. We're the B team.
I spent 3 quarters of the game with him, right? And I was watching reserve grade and a quarter of first grade with him. I've never seen a guy look at every single thing that happens in the game and be so stressed out about everything. The guy lives and breathes it, red and white, as you say, with the eyes. Mate, honestly, freaking hell. He was so stressed and into it. It was unbelievable. So his passion is incredible. Actually, if somebody had plays a passion like Donny, we would have beaten the Roosters. Yeah, that's what you need. Mad Dragon Donny Bell should be in the change room. Fire him up, Donny.
Yeah. Almost felt like we needed an angry forward or someone like a Mick Wayman, like you said earlier, someone like that out there. We just didn't have it.
Yeah, we need someone to bloody rev him up, because obviously Flano's not capable of doing it. Anyway, so finally, a shout out to the NRL for the wonderful pre-game ANZAC ceremonies right across the 8 games this weekend. The last post and the anthems prior to the games was so well done. Fantastic job. Now, some forced and unforced changes. Now, Coco, I'll throw this one to you if you're still here, because every time I look around, you're gone, and it looks like she's gone again.
Just go for the extra V.
Coco, you there? There she is.
There she is.
Sorry, I'm here.
Every time I look, you're gone.
Coco,
I'm just very busy tonight, okay, guys? I'm just
You're a
Sunday
magician,
night.
Coco.
Yes, what is it? What do you need from me? What do you need from me?
You've got a good question.
Okay, got a question for you. So, Hamish Stewart will be available to play against the Tigers as his 11-day concussion protocol stand-down finishes tomorrow. Does he force his way back in?
Okay, refresh me, Mum. What position can he play?
He's a middle forward.
Middle forward, which is what we need.
Okay, yeah, him and Couchman could play well together. Yeah, I think with like the likes of, look at Egan, he's come through and he's playing guns. I think of course, and I think when he played before, he was playing very well. I think we've got to give these young guys a chance, and whatever's in the water down in Gerringong, we need that in Wollongong, guys, because there's a lot of Gerringong Lions players from there, and they're all playing well. So, yeah, I hope Stuart plays for us this week. We need something. We need a miracle.
Loco on the bench.
Yeah, and someone, and also, going back to the halves, we've got, 4 kickers in our team that can kick. Like, we got Ilias, Flanagan,
Gutho.
who else? Gutho, Holmes.
In a pinch.
We got 4. Why can't they all work together and do each time? Soud was a great kicker back in the day. I know, Soud, your ears are probably burning tonight. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But, we've got those kickers. Why can't they work together and do something fantastic like the Storm do, or, the Roosters did?
Could be right. Big T could be on the money there.
Yeah. Do something that we could get that oomph over the line, just a bit of, yeah. But I think
I definitely,
yeah. Sorry, Daz, go.
yeah, I definitely felt like we were out muscled from the opening kickoff. I just had the feeling they just had too much forward power for us, and they finished us off out wide. And Sandon Smith's game management was above his age. He's a real gun, isn't he?
Very good, very good.
Imagine if they had him and Sam Walker. They could have put 50 or 60 on us.
Look at the way Spencer Langley ran it up, though. How hard he ran it up. Full pelt sprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see it from our forwards.
Yep. Time for some changes. Bring in Loco, please.
Yeah. Can he be a Gordon Tallis, a raging bull?
Where's the next Ben Craig?
Speaking of which, some unforced changes. Now, Loco Tonga, Nathan Lawson, and Laikan King Toga had standout performances in New South Wales Cup. But, Jesse, will that be enough to give any of them a call-up for our trip to Brizzy?
I honestly don't know. We think differently to Flano. Flano sees them and sees them every day and watches them train. I would love to see Loco get a run. Like in King Toga, I'd like to see them push in. I think maybe Lycan might be the most likely if that article was true that Lachlan Ellis faces the sack and faces the Axe, and will be serving a couple of weeks maybe in New South Wales Cup. I'd like to see give Lycan King Togia, give him a run. Locos with some impact on the bench, give us some footwork and give him some experience there, and maybe some go forward as well. That's what we're lacking. I would like to see that, but I wouldn't be holding my breath with Flano. He likes to pick the experience over the youth.
He's like Hook.
Loco's a Queenslander, isn't he?
Nope, he's New South
Didn't he
Wales.
come from Ipswich? You sure? I thought he came from Ipswich Grammar.
He played New South Wales under 19s.
He played New
last year.
South Wales under 19s origin.
Yeah, but originally. Was he? Okay, I'm thinking of someone else. I thought he was from Ipswich as a junior or something.
He's a Greg Inglis who was playing for New South Wales as a junior and then played for Queensland.
Played junior footy in Queensland. But yeah, he's a New South Welshman.
Okay.
I mean, with the eligibility laws, who the hell knows where he ends up playing?
Oh, you might want to play for Tonga.
Well, that's true too, yeah.
You very well do. Okay, well, that result is behind us now. Let's forget about that. An absolute demolition job from the Roosters yet again. Where do we go from here? Is our season at a crossroads? Can we bounce back? Or has the old give-up mentality if things don't go our way crept back in and not turning up in big games like this? Next week, it's another big game up at Magic Round at Suncorp, where we're yet to win a game. We have not won at Magic Round. The Tigers came off a great win today, so huge improvement required. Can we do it? Hopefully, but a different attitude and mindset definitely needed. Join us on Tuesday as we preview the game with Jesse in the host chair, alongside Big T, Coco, Rob, and Liam, although Liam does have a date with the judiciary, so he may not be there. We may be joined by a special guest, rugby league legend and Illawarra local Gary Jack. Thanks for joining us this evening. You've been watching the Mad Dragons Vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions, and we wish you a very good night. Come on, Dragons fans, fire up!
Coco is at Pennell's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Muzz tells tales of dragons, wins and tuna victory. Tony and the MV crew will do their very best, hitting off topic and I digress with a red V on our chest. The Mad Dragons Vodcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet feet. And so at Pennell's we the tales and our friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon Vodcast, funded by our team.